Hello and welcome back. So this video is going to be all about dupes. I have a whole dupes playlist where I am duping palettes with other things in my collection. This video is going to be different. I picked 5 dupes and I have both the high-end and the more affordable product. These are already established dupes where I've seen people in YouTube videos and YouTube comments say that these are dupes for the other product. So I'm going to tell you what I think, whether I think it's actually a dupe or not. Like I said, I've tried both the lower end and the more expensive products, so I can give you my thoughts. Let me know what you think and let's get into it. The first 2 products are definitely what inspired this video because I've had both of these for a long time, and pretty much since the Revolution concealer came out, people were saying that it is a dupe for Shape Tape. So Shape Tape is the original product and people say that the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer is a dupe. They do have some similarities, particularly in the package. They have these large doe foot applicators. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people talk about these products. I like them both, but I do not think this is a dupe for the Shape Tape. The number one reason that I don't think it's a dupe is that this is not that much coverage. This, however, is a full coverage concealer. I would say this is light to medium. And if I put a tiny amount of Shape Tape on, it's still more coverage than if I'm like really packing this one on. So I really don't think that they're dupes at all. However, I really like both of these concealers. I think they're both nice. I have dry under eyes, so neither of these are too dry on me. If I set them with a powder that works for me, which is either the Lancome Absolute in Absolute Pearl or the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. Those are the only 2 under eye powders I've ever found that work for me. Yeah, both of these work and I like both of them. However, I don't think that they are the same product. Next up, I'm going to talk about the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powders. I have this whole palette here, and then I have actually had both the diffused light and the luminous light before. I have seen a lot of people in YouTube videos say that the Essence Pure Nude highlighter in Be My Highlight is a dupe for the ambient lighting powders. Now, there are obviously many of the Hourglass powders, so it's hard to say if this is a dupe for any of them in particular. I will go ahead and say that I do not think this is an exact dupe. However, I actually think that I can get the same effect with this, which is very interesting and it really surprised me. I use the ambient lighting powders as a finishing powder. I blend my highlight and the rest of my face all together, and it really helps blend things out and gives a bit of a glow. Now, if I swatch these, you're gonna be able to tell. They're definitely not exact. I'm just gonna swatch one of these here. As you can see, I mean, it's barely shimmery at all. There's just a bit of sheen, not much at all. And the Essence one, so I don't know how well you can tell. This is the Essence, and this one has a bit more of a warmer undertone. The one I swatched is more of a pink, but they come in many shades. This has a bit more of a sheen, as you can tell. It's not that huge of a difference though. The main thing about these is that actually this one can be built up to be more of an actual shimmery highlight, where these not so much. Although I have had luminous light, and that one you can build up to be more of an actual shimmery highlight, but that's not my favorite use for these. I love them as finishing powder. I've never found anything that works as well. However, I have been using this on a fluffier brush and kind of dusting it over, and even on my forehead, my nose, and my chin, and it actually works. I gotta say, I actually think this is not an exact dupe, but I can use this as a slightly shimmery finishing powder that doesn't make me look glowy all over. I do not like to highlight my chin and my forehead and my nose like a lot of people do because I have really large pores there, and that just does not look good on me, but I can do that with this because the shimmer is quite minimal. So bottom line on these, I don't think this is exact, but it's pretty close, and I can use it in the same way that I can use these. And this is only $4 or $5, so I am pretty amazed with this product. I have been really, really loving it lately. This next one, most recently, Jaclyn Hill has said in her videos that she thinks that this new Morphe bronzer is a dupe for the Marc Jacobs bronzer. And I actually have both of the Marc Jacobs bronzers. I really didn't need the Morphe one, but when she said that, this is my favorite bronzer, I had to just get it and find out for myself. So this one is in Tantastic, the one in the white packaging, and then this one is in the color Tantric, in the black packaging. And then as far as the Morphe one, I have Icon. There is a huge price difference here as well. The Marc Jacobs ones are $49 and this is $19. I admit at first I thought $19 for a Morphe product was a little bit expensive, but I did use the $350 off coupon from Ulta. You can use that on Morphe there because it's considered a drugstore brand. Well, I'll go ahead and just get into it and say I don't think it's a dupe for this one at all because I will show you swatches. It's hard to tell, but this one pulls very pink and more cool toned on me, so I only like this one as a contour. But honestly, I do think that this is pretty much a dead-on dupe for this. I couldn't believe it. I'm actually really picky about bronzer because a lot of bronzers are choppy and hard to blend, and that's my least favorite thing with a bronzer. I just can't stand that. I want it to be smooth and to blend easily. In the swatch I've showed you, these don't really look that exact, but on my face, with my undertone, they look exactly the same. I'm wearing the Morphe one on this side and the Marc Jacobs on this side. This side doesn't look as well blended, but I think that's just me and I wouldn't blame the bronzer on that. I'm also using a contour on both of these cheeks, which are the same product. But anyway, I actually think these are shockingly similar. And yeah, I actually would call this a dupe. Next up, the Anastasia Brow Wiz. This is just a sample size I have here. I don't have a full one right now, but I have had a full one several times. This is my favorite brow pencil and I have tried a lot. And a lot of people have said that the NYX Micro Brow is a dupe for this. I had the NYX one, I finished it all up, and I think the shape of the pencil and the shape of the packaging is exact, but the formula on the NYX one was super dry and scratchy. I really hated that. Honestly, that's probably one of the worst brow pencils that I personally have tried. I know some people really like it, but for me, it was just way too dry. I feel like the Anastasia formula is perfect because it's a bit creamy, but it's not too creamy. I have tried brow pencils where it's so creamy that it just kind of gets everywhere and slides around, and the ABH does not do that. So I do not think that the NYX is a dupe, and the ABH is definitely my favorite. The last dupe I wasn't 100% sure I was going to mention because actually neither of them are available right now. And what I'm talking about is the ABH Mario palette and the dupe being the Artistry palette by Bad Habit. As we know, the Mario palette was one of Anastasia's most popular palettes, and a lot of people have wanted them to bring it back out or come out with another Mario palette. So far they haven't. It was really popular though. I had it. I've mentioned this on my channel before. I accidentally destroyed it depotting it. It was a huge mistake and I was really mad at myself. So then I bought the Bad Habit Artistry palette. And this is not available right now. I couldn't find it anywhere. The Bad Habit site says that it's currently down, but they are going to bring it back. So the reason I chose to still mention this in this video is that I think that they're going to bring it back. I think they're just revamping their website. I'm not totally sure. Hopefully, because I gotta say, this is a dead-on dupe. I can't believe it. I don't know how someone could perfectly dupe a palette, even the formula. I mean, so the colors, if you've seen the Mario palette, I mean, you would know these colors are almost exact. There's maybe one or two that maybe slightly half a shade lighter or darker, but barely. And the formula is so good on this. And the mattes are even powdery like the ABH formula. It's crazy. I am so impressed. This is actually one of my favorite palettes in my collection. I know some people are against those dupe brands and I don't think I would buy more from them, but I feel like the Mario palette isn't even around anymore, so for them to dupe it, I don't think it is as bad as the duping products that are still on the market because they're not really competing with the brand. Anyway, I truly think this is a dead-on dupe. I did previously own the Mario palette and it's crazy how similar they are. I really hope that they bring it back. I think they will because it says they're revamping their website, so I still wanted to mention it. All right, that is it for this video. So I would say out of the 5 items I mentioned here, the Bad Habit palette and the Morphe bronzer, I would say are pretty dead-on dupes for the other product that I mentioned. The Essence one is pretty close, not exact, but you can get similar effect. And then the other two, I definitely don't think are dupes at all. So these are my thoughts on these already established popular makeup dupes. Let me know what you think of this video. I'm actually already planning another one. I already have 2 other items to talk about. And yeah, let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.